So I think my last video was like, I believe 6 months ago, which in all respects, that should have given me plenty of time to come up with something amazing, something that I could really be proud of, something that would have been amazing over 6 months of work. Well, I mean, I'm reviewing columns for Sega Master System, so I think that's good enough. I know some of you might be a little disappointed with that decision, but it's okay. I have as many subscribers as nipples. It's perfectly fine. I don't think many people are gonna care about that. I think I know columns best for sitting on my shelf while I go play Tetris on Game Boy or Wario's Woods. And I think, to be fair to columns, it's like comparing Jesus to Zelda 2. I mean, Jesus, he's an amazing guy. He did all those things called miracles. But even so, he can't really compare to Zelda 2. He still struggles to compete. And that's because Zelda 2, I mean, it's Zelda 2. Alright, so Columns does have a few things going for it. One of them being, of course, the versus mode. The two-player options are actually not bad. Of course, there's the versus mode, and that's usually where most puzzle games would stop. But this also has a mode where you can take turns placing blocks, which that sounds very chaotic, but it might actually be okay. But I will not be testing that out today because I am lonely, and I have no friends, and I will not be trying out this mode. Now there's also this mode called Flash mode, which I do not know the relation between this and the Flash, but I'll take it because this is probably the best mode in the game. It's basically columns, but there's a small catch, which is there's something at the bottom, and you have to match that up with the color that it's representing. And once you do that, the round ends. You can select the difficulty, how many lines you want, and I guess the whole goal is to see how fast you can do it, but I just play it for fun, because this is actually pretty fun. I mean, it's not amazing, but it's a pretty fun mode, and it's one of the biggest things this game has going for it. But the original game it's Tetris. I don't like comparing it to Tetris, but what can I say? It's actually Tetris. You match them up, and it goes endlessly, and the whole goal is to just see how long you can survive. If the blocks reach the top of the screen, it's game over, and it's Tetris. Now, would I recommend columns on Sega Master System? No. And there's a few reasons for that. One is that nobody owns a Sega Master System. Not many people have fond memories of it. The Genesis version is like $2, where in this one is like 20 bucks if you want to get it complete, which isn't actually that awful, but compared to the Genesis version, it's really not worth picking up. I think actually the Sega Master System version looks better than the Genesis version, just because it has more going on. But that doesn't make a difference, you know? Just pick up the Genesis version. It's much cheaper, and I bet every collector owns a Genesis. It's just a common system that everybody should own, because Genesis is one of the best systems of all time. But also, Columns isn't really that amazing. It's pretty unremarkable when you think about it. It's kind of like that guy who stocks up on celebrities because he's so obsessed with them. That's how Columns is to Tetris. Like, it's just your average Tetris clone. I mean, it's fun to play, but standing out by itself, it's just not really remarkable at all. It's kind of just Sega's puzzle game. Tetris, on the other hand, it's fun, and it gets everything right. The music is amazing. Columns is just kind of like that, but just everything toned down a little bit. So if you haven't played a puzzle game before, Columns is okay, but at that point, as soon as you play Wario's Woods, it's just amazing. I mean, Wario's Woods is my favorite puzzle game of all time because it's much more frantic than anything than Columns or Tetris could do, but also it's original. Columns isn't original. Like, it's pretty much the same thing as Tetris, except it's Sega's version. Well, I think it's about time to wrap it up and give it a score, which some people don't like scores. I do, though. I don't know, it's probably just my fetish or some shit. But also, any rock-sliding Neanderthal can know how good a game is when putting it on the scale of 1 to 10, you know? If it's 1, obviously it's god-awful. If it's 10, it's a fucking masterpiece. So, would I give Columns a great score? No. Just pulling anything out of my asshole, I'd say about a 6.4. I mean, by itself, it's probably a good game, but it's not something you would really play over the other puzzle games. Like, I wouldn't play this over Wario's Woods. It just sits on my shelf for the most part. And I know some people love Columns, and good for them. You know, if you like Columns, then that's great. I'm just not a Columns fan. I didn't play Columns growing up, and Columns is just another Tetris clone to me, pretty much. Sorry if that offended you, but I really just don't know what to say. It's just a game. It exists, and by itself, it's fun to play. Not anything too special. But if you join me next time, maybe if you didn't find this review so darn offensive, then you can join me next time, where I will be reviewing something the opposite of unremarkable. In fact, it was sent by heaven onto this mortal plane, and it'll also make you hungry for a burger. So next time, I will be reviewing Burger Time on Intellivision, one of the best arcade ports I've ever played in my life, and one of the best arcade games I ever played in my life in general. So next time, it's Burger Time on Intellivision. It's really good, but I can't wait to talk more about it. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.